The dinosaurs should be like kind of the villain or the antagonist in these movies, and they should be scary. The last few were like PG-13. Give me an R on this bad boy.
I don't think they can make Jurassic Park anytime.
They need the kids.
Rated R.
They want kids.
The kids will still go. The kids went and saw Deadpool and Wolverine.
My child is not seeing a rated R Jurassic Park.
Saw Deadpool and Wolverine. Welcome back to the break room, where we're all wanting to get some
Dino DNA.
That's right. We're talking the Jurassic World Rebirth trailer. I'm Brandon Barrick, and joining me today, she's been living for 65 million years. It's Jessica Clemons. And also joining us today, he finally learned how to open doors. It's Erik Voss.
Cool. That's a good one. That was a good one. That was actually really good.
Oh, I'll do my Dilophosaurus.
You guys are peeking. You guys are peeking
the
the microphones.
Dilophosaurus? Here you go. You got a little...
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That's right. In this busy week of trailers, Jurassic World has released the first trailer for Jurassic World Rebirth, coming out July 2nd of this year. Are there any other movies coming out in July? I don't know. Let's watch the trailer in case you haven't seen it already or you'd like to watch it for the 100th time.
Just warn you, it's like Universal's being real sticky about this.
Okay, we'll keep an eye out.
We're going to watch it. Yeah. Come and get us, Universal.
Oh, baby.
On patrol, but there aren't that many anymore.
What, Blades in this?
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
No one's dumb enough to go where we're going.
Then that is Blade. That is Blade!
So good. You sure you're ready for that, Mr. Whitman?
Ooh.
Why would you bring a kid?
I could have acted out the rest of it if you wanted me to.
I love this like Jaws-esque sequence on the boat, right? Of like the mosasaur and like the spinosaurus just like tearing up this boat. Loving that. I also love like, you know, the little homages. Jessica's going to do a breakdown of this trailer that'll be out on the new Rockstar channel tomorrow.
What?
Yeah, you got to do that. Have you not started? Oh my gosh.
But me and Eric also did a reaction too.
Jessica and Eric
watched it for the first time this
Watch it for the first time.
And it's coming out soon.
Lots to love in this trailer. Just a quick reminder, this movie takes place 5 years after Jurassic World Dominion, which released in 2022. And we have a ton of questions, right? And thankfully, this trailer doesn't answer a lot of them. It's a lot of mystery, which I really like. We don't know the new organization. Is it Biosyn? Is it a rebirth of what InGen was bought by the Monsari? Monsari Corporation? Yeah, we don't know who this mysterious Rupert Friend character is who wants to get this dino DNA to make some better pharmaceuticals. But namely, like this is a new island that we haven't had in this series before. It's in the Caribbean as opposed to this Pacific Ocean where the former Site A and Site B were. And these dangerous dinos have just been living there, growing on their own.
You know what is actually surprising? You just mentioned this, and I don't know why it just echoed to me now. I was like, those dinosaurs are acting fine for not seeing humans in such a long time.
Would a dinosaur even care what a human?
I guess I should. Well, I'd chase after it.
Well, they talk about. I know if you like go to islands where like there aren't humans, like animals aren't necessarily afraid of humans, where they haven't interacted with them before. And why would these big dinosaurs be afraid of tiny little ants walking around?
They're not curious.
They're probably curious.
Or like the other animals, really.
Yeah, like if you'd never seen a squirrel in your life and you were just walking around and a squirrel hopped in front of you, would you be like, "Ah, I'm gonna kill you"? You'd probably just be like, "Okay," and just keep going about your way.
It depends if I'm the bad guy just trying to take its organs, which is always happening in these movies.
But you wouldn't suspect that of a squirrel.
I love so much about this trailer. I also appreciate it didn't rely too heavily on the score, the traditional score that we know. There was a little hint at the end, right?
And at the beginning.
Yeah. We get that lovely, like, the banner falling, just like the end of the first Jurassic Park movie. But, a fresh new score. I love how bright the movie.
Yeah.
A lot of daylight, which I really like. A lot of times these Jurassic movies had to rely on, like, darkness or rain to cover up a lot of the effects, but I think the dinosaurs look pretty good.
I think because they're in the tropics, it like needs to reflect that also in the color gradients.
It also makes sense, like if you're gonna go hunt these dinosaurs down, don't do it at night.
Yeah, oh, absolutely not.
Yeah, it is the most vibrant and in terms of like verdigris of a Gareth Edwards movie as I've ever seen. Like when I think of the 2014 Godzilla, I think of a hazy, mist covered.
That was a very dark movie.
Very dark. Movies that are often at like before sunrise, I feel like, is when you see a lot of the lighting. Everything's in shadow, and then he uses clever uses of lighting, but often it's kind of like he loves to shoot in the golden hour. He doesn't like tend to use a lot of direct light, and this kind of has the color and the light the sunlight that Spielberg had in the original '93 film, which is just interesting. Like I would expect a Gareth Edwards Jurassic Park movie to look like Jurassic Park 3. Remember how dark and everything was so dim in Jurassic Park 3. That's what I thought. This has more of the, and I don't know if that was the Gareth Edwards influence or his DP or just Universal being like, it kind of has to look like Jurassic World 2015.
Right.
Probably where they're also shooting, because where were they shooting? They were shooting in Thailand and Hawaii. Yeah, they were shooting on only very bright places, but also that logo at the end reflecting the same color as like everything else.
Again, this is like continuing the story. It's not like starting over here. Because I think Universal doesn't want to throw away all the IP that exists already in like Universal Parks and the story they're telling here. Dominion kind of left it where a bunch of dinosaurs were living in this like sanctuary in the Italian mountains, and then there's also dinosaurs kind of propagating around the world. This one, they're kind of I like that they're focusing in a little bit on just this one island and just these specific big dinosaurs that they got to get the DNA of. I'm sure they'll address that. Yes, there's still dinosaurs all over the world. Who knows how they're affecting things, climate-wise or like general ecology around the world. But it seems like they're thriving on this island, and they have been for a long time. We were talking about it before, Jessica, this idea that like these were the first experiments that InGen was doing before they even got to like Jurassic Park. And because these were so messed up, they moved on and just left them behind.
We don't know if it's. I don't know if it's confirmed, but when we paused and looked in the background of the screen, it looked like it said Laboratory 00 or Laboratory 01, which could mean it was the first lab, and then they just got up and left everybody behind.
Because we know that based on the presentation that John Hammond shows them in the first movie, they had to use frog DNA to fill in the parts. But I bet that like they tried other DNA first, and that's what created these like more dangerous dinosaurs. And whether or not they always use just frog, that was a public-facing presentation. So we don't know how honest they were being about all that.
That's right. I mean, even Dr. Alan Grant said that we don't know exactly what dinosaurs looked like. And now the modern research is saying many of them probably were covered in feathers. Or it depends what period of
They can tell from like the bones if there were like feathers or not, I think, on these dinosaurs.
And they probably didn't look like the way they were depicted in Jurassic Park. And they only looked that way because frog DNA was used.
Yeah.
And that the dinosaurs we see in this movie might be like other kind of... Just imagine the T-Rex, the Brachiosaurus that we saw in Jurassic Park were kind of weirdly unnatural freaks. They were not a recreation of Earth as it looked back in those times. So think of it that way. You can have a bit more of an open mind about the weird freaks we see in this movie. The mutant dinos that we see is like they're as much of a mutant as, Rexy was.
Right.
I think this island was around this whole time. Yeah, I think that's what they're going to go for. I'm just like, it feels like they, based off of this trailer, they're going for another Jurassic World thing. And what I'm waiting for is an alien Romulus of the Jurassic Park franchise.
Okay.
I want something that doesn't have big stars in it, that you're not trying to make $1 billion movie, but you could make a movie that you think might get 500 million that could grow to get like 700 million if you do it right. And the Vanity Fair article was like, this is going to be a horror movie. It was, Gareth Edwards and he wrote the article, Frank Marshall saying it's going to be like a horror movie. And this trailer does not look that scary. It looks like it has some thrilling moments, but it doesn't look like a horror the way Alien Romulus very much was a horror.
Right.
They said that Gareth Edwards went deeper in the article and said something that was like, oh, the realest, scariest thing is being hunted. And that's like what the fear they want to capture in the movie is. And I'm like, that's not my fear. My fear is Alien Romulus.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's my real
hunted
fear.
in Alien Romulus.
Yeah, but like, it's dark, it's seedy, it's dirty, I'm grimy, I'm running and sliding. And I'm like, please don't lock me out. And people are locking me out of places. Yeah. This seems like an open field. It's like, I'll trip you if I have to.
I think the most difficult thing for the Jurassic franchise, right, is like the first movie, the dinosaurs are the villains of that movie, right? They are the scary monsters. The characters come in with reverence for them and suddenly learn that like, oh, this is so dangerous. we're in a bad place, we're scared. And at the very end of that movie, the T-Rex, who is the villain at the beginning, is heroic in that it saves them from the raptors and has that big triumphant ending, right? And they fly away peacefully as the pterodons, the birds are flying. And then every other movie since then had to kind of be like, well, the people love the dinosaurs and they're like on the dinosaur side. So it was always hard to frame them as the villains again in each subsequent movie. And even Dominion talks about it a little bit. Ian Malcolm has like a little speech about like, you revere them, you love them, blah, blah, blah. But like, I hope that this movie gets back to where like, no, they're going to be shooting guns at these dinosaurs because they're scared of them, right? Like, it's not about trying to protect them or save them anymore. It's like, no, we're being hunted by these dinosaurs, and for our own survival, we got to get out any way we can.
Right. These things never should have existed. They are all freak lab accidents that were created by a greedy corporation.
Yeah.
And yes, we do have a fondness for Rexy, and some had a fondness for Blue, but we never should have had a fondness for any of these things. This is not natural selection, and I think we forgot Ian Malcolm's big speech. Like, nature selected these things for extinction for a reason. So I like that this movie does seem to be going back to like, these are monsters. These are not kaiju the way the Titans are and Gareth Edwards' Godzilla or Monarch, to where we can look to Godzilla or Mothra as gentle giants. None of these are gentle giants.
Immediately. Evan.
Well, speaking of, a lot of people in the chat, across both chats, including Lagoon985 and McJackattack, asking, will we see Chris Pratt or Bryce Dallas Howard? Any new characters introduced from Jurassic World?
I could see Bryce Dallas Howard having a cameo in some facet. I don't think Chris Pratt would show up for this.
That's how I feel about Hammond, like a clip or a video, like a floppy disk drive of like an old footage of him versus Chris Pratt.
Ooh, I would love like a Kier-esque computer sequence of like John Hammond be like, you found my dinosaur.
Oh my god.
Spared no expense on these.
Spared no expense on these.
What about like a Dennis Nedry like pops up, like the virus spread to this island too or something like that?
Yeah, or maybe they find some like recording or something. They could find the old like earlier take of John Hammond, but would they have to like, they'd have to use AI on internet.
That's
for
the
it to do that.
unfortunate.
So God, I don't want that. Please don't. But like maybe
they could have like unused footage from the film, you know, like deleted footage that they use that. Use that. Don't use AI. If
They
it was
use the footage from, what is it, Fallen Kingdom? They just use that footage and then
Yeah.
just like clip it. So it's like, because that's an old facility. We saw the 10,000 voltage sign. Like that, the entire place has been done forever. So if there is any electronics there, it's not working. If they are working, it's off like a generator with maybe 1% just clicking on and on.
barely going. There is one shot, right, of, you know, what I believe is called the D-Rex, this kind of hybrid thing. It's in a containment, like with glass, glass windows and stuff, and it's like kind of like in red, and the people are in the suits, and we think that might be like a flashback to when the facility was actually operating, and that's where you could have like an interesting cameo of some kind. But again, don't give me AI John Hammond. But I would put my money on Claire showing up. I don't want the weird clone girl to show up. I don't. Lockwood.
And do you think Bryce Dallas Howard might just do it as like a family favor at this point? How connected Ron Howard was to all these Amblin guys.
I think she had a good time in those movies, and like it might be fun to see her. I don't need to see Dr. Grant or Ian Malcolm or Ellie Sattler again, even though I rewatched Dominion last night. Rough. But they were the best part. Like the three of them had so much fun in that movie, and were really like having a good time.
I love Dominion. Evan, you had your hand raised.
No, keep talking, Jess, about what you love about Dominion.
It was so good. I love that clone girl thinks she's a dinosaur.
I love that the dinosaurs think that
actually, that makes more sense that the dinosaurs look at the girl and go, am I that? Is that me?
Wait, am I a clone?
They're like, no, we need to get this dinosaur a mirror. It's going crazy. The body dysmorphia is wild on this dinosaur.
Am I the fattest T-Rex?
No.
Why do I have stripes on my back?
No, it's because you're pretty.
Why is my skin so orange? Is it because I ate so many carrots?
The break room, we love food, but it can be tough to eat well when you don't have the time to cook, okay? Unless you use Factor. Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating deliciously and eating well easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes. Factor can help you feel your best all day long with wholesome smoothies, breakfast, grab-and-go snacks, and more add-ons. Factor arrives fresh and fully prepared, perfect for any active, busy lifestyle. With 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu, each week it's easy to pick meals tailored to your goals. Choose from preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto. For instance, if you're trying to lose weight, you can lose up to 8 pounds in 8 weeks with Factor Keto meals. I just heated up the grilled pork chop and smoked cheddar cauliflower. Ooh, and it's got some roasted zucchini and poblanos. It smells delicious. The studio will stink of delicious food for hours after I consume this, okay? Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/breakroom50off and use code breakroom50off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code breakroom50off at factormeals.com/breakroom50off to get 50 off plus free shipping on your first box. When we're waking up at 4 a.m. to react to Fantastic Four trailers, staying up late in the night to pump out content, okay, we really value the quality of sleep we get. And Miracle Made, one of today's sponsors, is helping us get that high quality sleep. The temperature you sleep at has a huge impact on the quality of your sleep. If you're constantly waking up because you get too hot or you get too cold, you gotta try Miracle Made sheets. Miracle Made's fabric was inspired by NASA, so it's also thermoregulating. That means you'll sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. These sheets are crazy comfortable, okay? Without the high price tag of other luxury brands. Plus, Miracle Made sheets are infused with silver. It prevents bacterial growth. Ooh. Bacteria, of course, can clog your pores, get all stinky, make you break out. You don't want any of that. So sleeping on Miracle Made sheets is good for your skin. Upgrade your sleep this year. Go to trymiracle.com/breakroom to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, maybe a hookup, and you're sleeping in their bed every once in a while and you want them to have some nice sheets, that would be a fun thing to do for Valentine's Day. You can save over 40% if you use our code BREAKROOM, promo code BREAKROOM at checkout. You'll get a free 3-piece towel set and save an extra 20%. Man, towels, that'd be a nice thing to have over at your hookup's place too, right? Miracle is so confident in the product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/breakroom and use the code BREAKROOM to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40%. Again, that's trymiracle.com/breakroom to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode and for sponsoring future hookups, but that'll be cut, so that's fine.
There's some people in the YouTube chat asking about Dennis Nedry. Wiggos242 saying, what if the facility is from the company that hired Dennis?
Oh,
the first
that
movie,
one
yeah.
to steal.
It was the other one, the rival run.
The rival company. Yeah,
I do think it's an InGen facility because there is that kind of like, it looks like a faded InGen logo in the background. I mean, Dennis Nedry obviously dies in the first film. Spoiler alert. I don't know if you bring back Wayne Knight to be in. That would be the weirdest cameo. Bring back Dobson.
They're gonna kill a bunch of people in this, so there's no use in bringing back anybody because they're just gonna end up killing them immediately. That's what Mahershala said in the interview. He was like, "We're not sparing expense on how many people die in this movie."
Hey,
I was also like, "I know you're that's you." Like, telling us you're gonna die.
Yeah, who's gonna live? Does Jonathan Bailey live?
Jonathan Bailey, unless he turns out to be like evil, which I don't want him to be.
I think Mahershala dies.
Yeah, because he's the one fighting it.
Yeah, because they Bresnikan and Vanity Fair was trying so hard to get a quote from ScarJo and from Mahershala on you're the characters from Jaws, right? And he's like, Jonathan Bailey is like Richard Dreyfuss, and then you could see he's already starting to reach. And I love Anthony Bresnikan. I will read everything that guy writes.
Was that him? I thought it was Jonathan Bailey making that.
No,
point.
it was like
him?
They're clearly based on the Lost, or I keep saying Lost Jaws crew. And then ScarJo was like Roy Scheider, Brody, and then the wild card, obviously Mahershala Ali. And then Jonathan Bailey's like, yeah, I see that. And then Mahershala Ali's like, I don't know. He's like, Jonathan Bailey's more the movie buff. I guess he can make that connection. He's like, that's not how I saw it. And then Bresnikan went right back into it. He's like, it's definitely that. When you watch it, it's like, all right, man, we get it. But yeah, in the book, Jaws, Hooper dies. The Richard Dreyfuss character dies.
He has the fake out death in the movie.
He has the fake out death in the movie, and then
So you think
Quince
it's gonna
dies.
be?
So yeah, I think Mahershala will die.
It will be interesting to see you bring up like the Book of Jaws. Like I think there's some book stuff from the first Jurassic Park book that we might see more of in this movie. Sequences that were in that book that weren't in the like Jurassic Park movie that we could see in this. People have brought up like the T-Rex kind of like lying in the grass like that. That was like a sequence that was in the book. I think you were talking about like a sequence on the river with like
the river raft
breeding and stuff. So I think we could see some like interesting stuff that is like a nod to the original novel that didn't make it in.
I unfortunately have not read the novel.
It's been a long time since I read
But
it.
there's people that are huge like buffs that read the book and they're staying really close with other details beyond those two.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's great for them. I'm not reading that book. No, I'm joking, but I might. I want to get very into it.
I remember
but
it being hard with all the math.
I was like,
It was,
it's
like,
gonna
very
be
hard.
way
of
past my
chaos
reading
theory
level
and
right
stuff.
now.
I do like all that stuff because there's like some fun things in the first book. Like I remember like some raptors sneak off on a transport ship and like make it to Costa Rica and stuff. John Hammond like dies in the first book because he's like walking around and he gets scared by a dinosaur, like falls off a cliff and then gets eaten by other dinosaurs.
And John Hammond is way more of a villain.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like a straight up like.
Spielberg purposely redeems him in the movie to kind of show that like he learns his lesson, and that's why in Lost World he's stepped away from the corporation and like he has that great moment at the end of Lost World when the dinosaur's going back to the boat and he's talking on the TV about why they should be preserved and allowed to live on the island. But that's kind of a thing, I saw Jurassic Park originally as a very young lad, even though I was born in 2002. He is like a villain in that movie in a lot of ways. You don't really see it as much as a kid. As an adult, I really saw it where, when Ellie Sattler's kind of like dressing him down, like everything's a lie. Everything you do is a lie. This is all BS. And now you've put all these people's lives in danger and killed people because of it.
Yeah, I think you see traces of it in his relationship with Nedry and how he's like underpaying him.
Yeah.
But, like it's a way bigger deal. He's like basically he's cheap. He's cutting
Right.
and that's why
He says spares no expense. It's
That's the joke. It's like he's sparing every
expense.
he is like cutting every corner that he can and he's underpaying everyone. He's using cheap contractor labor. Yeah, so Nedry is like right in that he's like you need to pay your people. But I think we in the deep dive I did on it, I like what made this connection with Spielberg views himself, he sees himself in the Hammond archetype of like, oh, he's like a P.T. Barnum figure. He's a Walt Disney character. He wanted to build this escapist park. And he wanted attractions that would be real, and he just like got carried away in his dreams. And I think Spielberg, at that point in his career in the early '90s, had made these huge movies, none as big as Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park, I think, remains his biggest film that he's ever made. And I think he's like, I need to remind myself not to get carried away with these productions that you can really hurt people. And I think it was Spielberg. I'm really stretching now, but I think it was Spielberg getting really freaked out by what happened on Amazing Stories.
Oh, yeah.
And seeing he was an executive producer on that series, but we know the whole story of John Landis and
It was
John
Twilight Zone, I think.
Oh, it was
that
Twilight Zone the movie?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm mixing it up then. And that's why this is probably a
But
bullshit
you
thing.
have a
But I
good
think
point.
every director in Hollywood
Yeah.
got freaked out by that. And how they wanted to work with kids and were okay putting kids in danger. And Goonies, had kids sliding on a slide
Oh
into
my
water.
God, yeah.
And like, Spielberg used to have a thing of loving to scare kids and coming up with clever ways to scare kids. But he was actually trying to be very careful, and he loved the kids that he worked with. And I think everyone in Hollywood got really freaked out when people really got hurt in those 80s productions. And then by the time Spielberg was doing Jurassic Park, he sees a character like John Hammond, and he's like, these P.T. Barnums can actually have a heart, and I have a heart, and I want to find my way into this story. And I think that's what Richard Attenborough was the guy who he respected so much as a director, and they had both been up for Best Director, I believe, in the same year in '84. For Attenborough had directed the Gandhi, right?
Oh, okay.
And Spielberg had directed some
E.T.?
E.T. I think it was the
that
same year.
before?
And I don't think either of them won, or maybe Attenborough had won
I don't know.
for Gandhi.
But even
so
the
they had a friendly
Jurassic Park,
respect
the
for him.
original Jurassic Park filming was like a little precarious. I mean, they were filming in Hawaii, and like I remember, isn't the T-Rex popping through the glass? Like the glass wasn't supposed to break out like that or something, and like it wasn't supposed to come down in one piece or something. Like the kid, all the actors in that film, I'm sure it was very safe and they're doing their best. But it's like you're working at night in real remote terrain with mud and water and all that stuff. It is dangerous. Thank God we have CGI now, so we never have to have any real effects anymore.
We're not that far into 2025, but it's already been an intense year. I think we can all agree. There's been a lot going on, and it can be tough to unwind at the end of the day. Vaya is here to help you with that, okay? Vaya is dedicated to harnessing the natural benefits of hemp to create high-quality wellness products. Whether you're looking to improve your sleep, focus, recovery, add a little pep to your step, or just get high. Vaya has something for you. With products ranging from 0 to 100 milligrams of THC, Vaya gives you the power to blaze your own trail. Vaya is well known for their award-winning THC and THC-free gummies and vapes, their THCA flower, soothing topicals, and calming drops. They're all crafted with the highest quality hemp, sourced from trusted, independently owned American farms. And the best part? Vaya legally ships to nearly all states in the US in discreet packaging directly to your door with a worry-free guarantee, no medical card required. I have really enjoyed the 5 milligram Dream Gummies. I actually, no joke, took one last night. Really helped me fall asleep. I was struggling. The Sunday night into Monday work day, I got a lot going on in my brain. I'm worried about the week to come. It can be that's always my worst night of sleep. But I took one of these last night. Boy, I was a rock until I woke up. Okay, so if you're over 21, check out our link to Vaya's website. The link's in our description. Use code BREAKROOM for 15% off. And if you're new to Vaya, get a free gift of your choice. Thank you, Vaya, for sponsoring the show.
So we have some questions too. Redman's Kennel's asking, do you think they're going to start the human hybrids with needing the DNA for medical purposes? Yeah, what do you think? Any purpose here, you think, for what's the reason for needing these data?
They said in the synopsis in the Bresnikan article that it's a pharmaceutical purpose to cure heart disease. I think that's the reason they're giving. I don't think they're getting into like human hybrids in this movie.
Well, that's the
a stated reason, but I think there might be something to like, I don't know, like this whole world, like this could be, that's one thing. They've already seen like cures to cancer, cures to whatever, miracle cures. So like a miracle cure for heart disease, you know, I think is what
even Dominion. A little bit of the plot was like Biosyn was saying like, oh, we're using their ancient immune system to combat like modern diseases in a weird way. I don't know. You can do a human dinosaur hybrid, just make it look as freaky as the hybrid and alien Romulus, right?
I know, right?
Give me a brontosaurus with just like a normal dude's head on it. Like, hey, what's going on, guys? You got any trees down there? Boom, 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 boom. And then the dinosaur walks off, and it's a whole accompaniment that comes to spend no expense.
I wanted to kind of quickly run through some characters that people in the chat have been asking. Okay. Do we think they could come back in any form? We'll see. Captain Cannabis asking, bring back Samuel L. Jackson's character. Give him a robot arm.
Give him a robot arm? Oh, man.
Winter Soldier arm. Just
look, if Blade has anything to do about this casting, you know Samuel Jackson will not be in it.
Okay, so his arm, he's bitten off. And I guess it's implied in the movie they ate the rest of him and just left the arm. But now we're saying they bit off his arm and he manages to crawl away. Maybe he gets to the mud and he also gets buried in the mud. Like the Barbasol can, and then they dig him out at some point. Give him the robot arm. I like that. I like that.
That sounds very close to Bucky.
I'll give it a 15% likelihood.
Ben Moss Woodward saying, bring Lexi back to run the Unix computer. Oh, okay. The little girl from the first movie. They're
still using Unix. This is a universe where Unix took off instead of like DOS or something like that.
Or maybe these are like old computers. Like they abandoned this island. It might still be.
There's only one woman in the world that knows how to use this computer system. Wait a minute, I know this. Yeah, because they didn't Tim and Lexi show up in one of the movies, or just Tim did?
No, they
did.
They did as adults, didn't they?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They showed up as adults very quick, I think, in
very brief.
Was it Fallen Kingdom?
Maybe.
No, it might have been Dominion. Yeah. Either one.
If you're in the chat, call in. But I do think Tim showed up again in one of them.
Yeah, no,
I mean, I say you bring back Tim as like an adult. And he's like so traumatized, and he hunts dinosaurs, and he wears like a necklace of teeth, right? Like he's a maniac.
He hates
like
them now.
He's like lost his mind.
Yeah, they can call him Craven.
They call him Craven.
He's sniffing.
I think they both might have shown up in Lost World actually. when they go to Hammond's
At the
house
beginning,
at the
yeah.
beginning. I think they are both there for that.
They hug them and then they leave. And
Yeah.
you
What
about-
see the terror still in their
Uh,
eyes?
Dominion,
They're
Dominion
not over that
established.
PTSD ain't never leaving.
Dominion established that Ellie Sattler has 2 kids.
Yeah.
Ian Malcolm has 5 kids. We met one of the kids in Lost World.
Lost World.
He's got 4 others. I say bring all the Malcolms along.
Just bring all the kids and make
All
them
the Malcolms, baby. Bring
bring
them
them all out. We only met that one. She's
I say
great.
5 kids, 5 wives. Let's do it, Dr. Malcolm. Come on. He's a player.
Filthy Phil saying, BD Wong, no way he's in this.
Dude, if BD Wong doesn't get to be in this movie, I will be angry. He got to be in like all of them.
He's the only actor, I think. Or no, not all of them. He wasn't in 3.
I don't think he's in 3, but
Wait.
he's done the most.
I think
Oh,
BD Wong
and
has
the
been
third
in,
one, not
he's-
Dominion. He's
of
in
all the
yeah,
actors.
yeah.
He's in all
Domi-
3 of
he's
the
in
In
movies.
Dominion, he's lost his mind.
Yeah.
That long hair and that, please give me the blood of the child.
Another, she's the only one who figured out how to
All
share
that
with
for the
amongst herself.
locust?
And then he takes the locust out and he lets out in the field and he's like, locust!
That would probably weirdly be the
Bring
only
him
character
back.
I would be okay with bringing back all the time, just because he's just there.
I
He's
say
just
this,
there.
the sequence at the bar where they meet Mahershala, this like island bar, have him be there too, right? Slinging drinks.
He's like, I'm done with the dinosaurs. I'm here.
Maybe he's like go-go
In
dancing
South
on a
America?
table.
I'm telling you, Costa Rica, it's not the worst place just to hang out. Man,
No,
if you
it's
just want to
perfect.
live, Costa Rica's great.
That's where he went. He retired after he destroyed
Yeah.
almost half the
Hey,
globe.
good
I
Right.
say
If
BD
we're gonna
Wong,
surf
98%. 98% chance he can.
Okay.
Could
I
work
would
one of the
love it.
resorts. Just
Yeah.
live a great life.
Lots of comments, of course, about the dinosaur in the trailer. Zach Roy saying, I'm glad we're just back to scary dinosaurs.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Prince Riley Phoenix saying the mutant dino is giving very Cloverfield. Interesting
Oh, it
comparison.
does.
With the
a little
smushed
bit,
face.
Yeah.
Did this have a...
Who did Cloverfield?
I
You got it. Come on.
JJ
Come on.
produced it, right?
Yeah.
JJ Abrams
I think he
Drew
produced it,
Goddard.
but
no, Drew got no.
Didn't Goddard do one of them?
the comedian?
Like,
No.
I think Drew Goddard
Oh,
directed it.
I said the comedian.
Cloverfield, the first one directed by Matt Reeves.
Matt
Matt
Oh,
Reeves.
yes! How can we
Matt
forget Matt
Reeves.
Reeves?
How could we forget Cloverfield's Matt Reeves?
I'm so
something
mad at myself for not
in the
remembering.
way.
I don't think that's in Cloverfield.
You can put it in every movie.
That is-
every Matt Reeves movie.
Uh,
I do like the. I think they're right too about the scary. Again, the dinosaurs should be like kind of the villain or the antagonist in
Yeah.
these movies, and they should be scary. The last few were like PG-13. Is this one? Did they have a rating yet for this one?
Not yet rated.
Was it
but
not
think
yet
it's gonna be
rated?
I think it's gonna
Give
be
me an
PG-13.
R on this bad boy.
I don't think they can make
They
Jurassic
can't.
Park anytime.
They need the
soon
kids.
Rated R.
They want
Any
kids.
The
kids.
kids will still go. The kids went and saw Deadpool. And
My
Wolverine.
child has not seen a
The
rated
kids
R
went and saw
Jurassic Park.
Deadpool and Wolverine. You can make it PG-13, but it needs to be a hard PG-13. I mean, like,
One F word.
yeah, give me one F word.
Uh,
Have Samuel L. Jackson show up with his robot arm and be like, "That's one big motherfucking dinosaur." Hold on to your butts.
He said, "Please."
Does anyone say "hold on to your butts" in this movie?
No.
No?
Sacrilegious if it's not from
Oh,
Jackson.
God. I guess. Let Scarlett Johansson say "hold on to your booties."
two more dinosaur comments and questions before we
These
kind of
are
wrap up. Dinosaur.
questions from dinosaurs.
No, yeah, from dinosaurs. Osiris, the dinosaur, asking, does ScarJo kick a dinosaur?
Ooh.
That'd be funny if she just kicks it like midair. She kicks it.
Oh,
when
like
she's
a drop-
falling,
like a
when
drop
she's
kick?
falling off the cliff, she just like drop kicks the flying Quizzicatus or whatever. Oh, that'd be.
I like when like Ellie Sattler kicks the raptor in the face when he
Oh,
sticks his
yeah.
head up through the thing, and he goes.
I think so. She's got to. Also, that's such a, not to be this person, it's such a waste to use Scarlett Johansson and not have her do a bunch of stunts that involve kicking dinosaurs.
I want to see some
I
dinosaurs get kicked.
want her to put that gun down and just be like,
I want to see her face off with a raptor, and she ties a knife to her foot, and they have like a
oh,
little-
damn. Start
It
stabbing.
starts-
Because remember, in Dominion, Chris Pratt eventually is just stabbing the like dinosaur in the eye. It's ridiculous. They electrocute it. It's
Yeah.
do that.
The
Give me some.
spine, because it was like they're in the treehouse, and it's at like tree height, and it's like, hey, what's going on here? And they're just like,
He's
they're just like beating on it. differently.
with a shiv. I remember this.
Yeah, I remember that.
Drogo in the chat asking, what animal dinosaur hybrid would you want to see?
Oh.
Ooh.
They could do dino animal hybrids. That could be a thing. More. I mean, we were talking about the frog DNA, but it could go crazy.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. Yeah, that this isn't them hybriding dinosaurs. It's like dinosaurs mixed with scorpions, or dinosaurs mixed with like lizards, or something like that. What kind of? I want to see like a T-Rex octopus, where it's like a T-Rex head, but it's got
Eight
eight
T-Rex
tentacle arms, and it's like crawling around on the land, and just grabbing people. That'd be yummy. Mix an alien, mix a dinosaur and an animal.
Yeah, I get it. No, I meant I get your octopus one.
Yeah.
Go to Eric and then come back to me. I'm trying to think of animals that aren't smart.
What about a cat?
Oh, hey,
Oh, that's a
the
good
cat.
one. God,
But a
damn
cat
it.
size.
Oh.
It's the little one that ate the roast beef. The little ones that kept
Oh, the
eating
little,
roast
the little
beef.
Compysaurus.
Which I found out today that little girl did not die
didn't
because
die.
of Brandon. I thought she died.
She didn't die.
in the second
It's
movie.
implied death. It was PG-13. Naked arm. She's dead, dude.
I
That would be the smartest thing for these people to do is like make a brontosaurus cat size, sell that to people.
Oh yeah.
for
There we go.
4.3
And
million.
all you have to feed is little trees.
Little treats, yeah,
Little
little
bonsai
trees.
trees.
Yeah.
I
Oh my
want
God,
a
perfect.
velociraptor mixed with like a pigeon. Okay.
That's what they were.
Wait, I
Literally
couldn't
what they
think of an
were.
animal because they're already spliced with so many. I know
know.
they were using like
They're very
dolphins at one point or some weird
bird-like.
thing. So I was like, okay. I was like, they did all this. The new monster looks like it walks like a chimp. So I'm not gonna say a monkey.
What about a horse raptor?
Oh, that's a good
where
one.
it's a horse with claws on
Pegasus.
it,
Are you
on its
kidding
hooves,
me?
A very veiny
and
Pegasus.
it's got a long tail. A veiny Pegasus.
Well, because it's reptilian.
Yeah.
What? You guys are
Scaly.
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 Sorry,
Scaly.
Evan, you had an animal. I know you're
okay.
excited for this question.
Dow David Oliver saying, I feel like a Jurassic World is the final movie Pedro Pascal needs for the ultimate movie resume.
Yeah.
He would be,
For
yeah.
The IP King.
Yeah.
It's in a Jurassic World movie.
Could you imagine? He would have probably only auditioned for Mahershala's part, right? Him as
yeah.
Jonathan Bailey wouldn't
Yeah.
have been that great. And then he already did that kind of business in Wonder Woman 4.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
business.
I mean, what happens sooner? Pedro in a Jurassic World movie or Scarlett Johansson in a Star Wars?
Oh, okay. I think I would vote
Scarlett
Pedro in Jurassic
Yeah.
World.
Yeah.
You
So
think
you
it's
can
gonna
kill 'em
Star,
off,
Star
you
Wars
don't
is
have
having
to
a hard time getting movies
Oh,
back on
that's
the schedule.
true.
Yeah.
He should do the next Jurassic. That would be
Yeah.
What
That'd be
about Pedro
awesome.
in a Terminator franchise movie? Are they gonna bring those back?
as Connor, Sarah Connor.
Pedro as Sarah Connor would be pretty good.
Dark Fate, right? Was that the last one?
Yeah, I think so. Did you see that
Oh,
one?
maybe they
We did a video about it.
They
Oh, did you?
reboot the Terminator franchise so that Pedro is like Sam Connors, right? And the Terminators.
Pascal's the
and
future Sam Connor.
It's a woman that comes back in time to get impregnated by Sam Connors,
Okay. I'm
right?
kind of
Instead of vice versa.
okay. Oh,
Instead
I
of the
see,
man
I see.
coming back to impregnate
Yeah.
Sarah Connors, the woman comes back to get impregnated by Pedro Pascal. He just plays himself. He's Pedro Pascal.
Oh.
All right, two final things before we wrap up here today. Elijah Dante just sharing a story in the chat saying, I always have a little love for these movies, Jurassic Park films. As someone whose family is from Costa Rica and Nicaragua, I'll never forget how my mom went back to Costa Rica to visit family and ended up on a national park tour with Steven Spielberg. She said he was very nice and polite and took a photo with her. Just asked people not to publicize his location. Makes me proud that he actually appreciates the natural beauty of the region. And yeah, you know, those movies look pretty good. when
Didn't
they're
they do the
filmed
first
there,
one in
too.
Hawaii?
I think they filmed in like multiple
how-
locations.
Yeah.
Not
Filmed in
negating
Hawaii,
this
but it
person.
takes place in
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
national park? I always ask like in.
It
like,
was in.
there-
I know it's in Kauai, and I only know that because when I went to a wedding in Kauai, they have Jurassic Park
Oh, yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. They love Jurassic Park.
I think it's the family that The Descendants is based on. Like they own that park. The movie
What?
The Descendants with George Clooney.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
know that
move on.
movie. That makes sense because it's in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And finally, so we've spent a lot of time talking about this movie today, talking about the different theories, getting excited about the different stars and everything that are in the film. How do we think, Redman Candle's asking, and also, I mean, generally a great question, Eric kind of alluded to it before, how do we think this movie is going to perform? It's going to be a very busy July. It's going to open July, and it's another movie in a franchise that is historically done very well financially, not super great critically. How are you guys feeling about this?
I think it's gonna make money regardless.
Yes.
It's gonna make money regardless. So they're not worried about that. Universal ain't worried about the money part. I think it's gonna do better critically than The World's did.
Really?
Wait. Chris Pratt's, not the original World, but those ones. I think critically it's gonna do. It's just like you got Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala, and Jonathan Bailey. I don't know. It's hard to like negate that that's gonna not be already well liked.
I think these movies do well internationally too because it's like simple enough premise, right? Big monster dinosaurs, you know, hunting people down. It's not like too complex of a plot to like, you know, be confusing. Dominion made $1 billion in 2022, which is like ever since post-pandemic, it's been hard to cross that $1 billion mark when so many movies were doing it beforehand. I think this movie will do pretty well. The 4th of July weekend, Big Willie weekend, if you will, used to be like a big performing weekend at the box office and has since really dropped off a lot. It's been tougher because I think people have not gone to the movies as much on the 4th of July weekend. They've been doing other things. So I think that is going to be a challenge for it. But I do think this movie could cross $1 billion.
Watch it pulled up that 4th of July. Watch this be the jump, the spike. I mean, right now in America, this is probably a movie I need to take my mind off of it. So
I'm definitely excited to watch this in a theater with great visuals, great sounds. I don't want to watch this at home. I want it to be loud and scary.
I need to see it in Dolby just to hear that. I want to hear what that new monster sound is. I want to hear that.
I think it'll be cool.
They do the same thing with Godzilla, and it's just like dry ice and a crate being dragged across the ground. I'd be okay with it.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna make a shit ton.
Yeah,
I think it'll outperform Dominion. I don't know if it'll outperform Jurassic World 2015, because that movie just like, whoa, the world was in a different place back then. But I think it'll outperform Dominion, and I think just having ScarJo and Mahershala in it, like, it'll be the first of those movies that month. Like, cause everyone's going to see Superman, everyone's going to see Fantastic Four, but like, if people's budgets only allow them to see one movie, there's gonna be a lot of people who just start with that one. And it's gonna make a shit ton of money.
And that's the thing is, like, out of the three, because it's just starting first, you're like, well, let me go get this ticket first. Let me just go get this ticket.
If there is any like movie watching fatigue in July, it certainly hurts the later movies and not the earlier ones, right?
Is it gonna do more money? It's not gonna do more money than Superman, Fantastic Four.
I don't think it'll outperform those, but I do think it'll have a very clear path to $1 billion, and I think it's just because Universal will be pumping money into marketing. And the way, like, remember how like last fall, how much marketing we saw for Wicked, and how Wicked was just everywhere. Like, Universal just knows what they're doing, and the fact like this trailer came out and they did a whole Vanity Fair piece, like the choices they've already made for this movie and that they're going to be making over the next 6 months, they're going to guarantee this movie makes.
What will be the weirdest product integration for Jurassic World going into this one? Wicked did a lot of product integrations. Barbie movie did a lot of product integration.
Brave New World.
I don't think Universal. That's the thing. I don't think it has to. It's already selling toys. It's already doing merch at Target. It's probably going to follow the same algorithm or the formula that they've been doing with Jurassic World. Universal Japan just got an additional part added to it that is probably from Rebirth. I don't think they're going to like. They already have Legos. They already have. That's the thing is like Wicked was like so different, and same with like Barbie. It's like we can go to like action figures and other things that people normally see us doing. But Jurassic Park fits in both categories.
It's all over the place.
I think guns. I think there are going to be some guns that you can get that are Jurassic Park.
Nerf guns?
No joke. They
No,
have Nerf
real
guns.
Guns.
They already have the Nerf guns out too for it.
For Jurassic?
I'm not joking. I collect Nerf guns. I have so many Nerf guns. I have like one for every.
You ever think about rolling up at Jessica's house? She got a whole lot of Nerf guns.
You don't know how many shotguns I have. I have the Fortnite one. I showed the Deadpool. I showed them off on my Instagram story at one point.
Nerf,
I was like, here's my Deadpool.
Sponsor us, Nerf. Come on.
Dude, oh my
Nerf,
God.
if you're watching.
Hey,
Nerf and Capri Sun.
It's Nerf for nothing.
Nerf for nothing. I love Nerf guns.
I think they'll do a partnership with Hanes, white t-shirts.
Stop.
Really rocking that one.
Him and white tees. He's being
looks.
Do we get any references to Scarlett Johansson having played Black Widow? Will she bump into a Black Widow on the island like an actual spider? She squishes it and says, "I don't want that anymore."
What if she does the stance? She falls from the stance.
Yeah, doesn't she already have the reference of her just hanging from that cliff? With
Oh
the
yeah,
rope? Like,
that's
Oh, good. Someone do the side by side. Make that title.
What is this, the Red Room? I gotta go, folks. Well, that's it for us today. Make sure to subscribe to the Breakroom channel right here on YouTube and give us a follow on Twitch where we do videos like this live. Make sure to follow us at Breakroom NR on all our social channels, including Instagram, Twitter, and Threads. We'll catch you next time. Late skaters. Goodbye.
She's gonna stick the landing and then flip her hair back at some point. Wait, what Yelena made fun of her for?